Hello everyone, welcome to the Ichimoku.co daily stock market review for the trading day ending Monday, October 19th. Firstly to the S&P 500, and here we see a continuation of the trend to the upside for today's trading, a candle making a higher high and a higher low. We've seen a series of higher highs and higher lows over the last 3 days, the market breaching through 2019 level of resistance, and today we've seen the market close with the buyers in control again, as we've seen for those past 3 days. Formation of a white body candle again suggests that buyers have found upside momentum, but very much smaller than the previous 2 trading days, and this is a classic way in which we tend to see these first time frame uptrends terminate, and that's where, as the trend continues towards its end, the size of the bodies become smaller and smaller, and that's exactly what we've seen. And it means that as we've been continuing higher to the upside, the amount of momentum between the open and the close has become smaller and smaller, and it's suggesting that the power of the buyers is not as great as it was previously, and that sets the market up for a potential change of trend. Now this is something of a hanging man type pattern, and that's where we have this smallish body and the shadow on the bottom, and always with these patterns we're looking for confirmation. So confirmation would be a candle with a lower high and a lower low. But if we do see that confirmation, looking to strong support to come in at the previous resistance area at 2019. Now if you recall, last week we were watching this window that was opened up. At the end of last week we almost tested 2 there, and this window that was opened up quite some time ago in late August, is now holding as resistance for today's trading, and that's going to be a benchmark moving forward. If the buyers are able to breach up through there, then we have a very large zone of potential resistance from 2040 up almost to the 208 level. Previous very strong support area, potential for that area to hold as resistance. In terms of Ichimoku, a bullish market in all 3 timeframes, and this is a good sign for buyers, and it suggests that if we do see the market come off, and if this 2019 level fails, we're likely to find very strong support around the round number 2000 with the top of the Ichimoku cloud there, and also with the Tenkan-sen indicator trading very close to there. The ticker span is above the corresponding price action. That's suggesting we have very strong momentum to the upside in the medium term time frame, and it's supporting the bullishness that we're seeing in all 3 time frames. The depth of price action away from the Kijun-sen, which is all the way down here, is looking just a little overextended, so it wouldn't surprise to see a retracement confirmed here. So looking very carefully for a potential lower high and lower low. In terms of the bands with the S&P, here we see the market still trading up above the upper band, and this suggests that we have a very strong bullish bias in the medium term time frame. We had the bullish breakout, the strong bullish follow through, and looking now to the upper band at 2017 to hold as support as it has done in the recent past. Next to the Dow 30, and a similar type of candle as we've seen with the S&P, a small bodied candle, and similar effect here as the market's been trending higher. We've seen a reduction in the size of the white body, suggesting that the momentum to the upside has become smaller and smaller, and looking for a potential change of trend. Now quite strong support coming into this market around the 17151 level, previous resistance level in the immediate past, and then prior to that support, and the price rejection from there, the sellers losing commitment below that area and the buyers closing with control, suggests that we certainly could see this market continue to the upside. And that's if we don't see that confirmed change of trend with this hanging man type pattern. If we do continue the trend, looking to 17350 to continue to act as resistance, but in all 3 timeframes we have a bullish market trading above the cloud, the Kijun-sen and the Tenkan-sen, supported by the ticker span, and this suggests that if we do see the market retrace, we're likely to find very strong support at 17074 or very close to the round number 17000 where we have the Tenkan-sen trading. We're likely to find very strong support there, and then the buyers come into the market if we do see a sell-off. But watching this candle very closely, looking for a potential change of trend, but watching the high for a potential to continue, and if we do see the market continue with the buyers in control, 17350 is the target for the next day. next to the Nasdaq 100, and a very different looking market here. We've actually seen the size of the body on this candle increase, and this suggests that certainly the stronger of the equities markets, but strong upside momentum, and suggesting we certainly could see higher prices. Now, the buyers have closed with control, as we've seen for the last 3 consecutive days, and importantly the market has breached up through this previous zone of resistance, and extending through a 4448 in a bullish manner suggests a very good likelihood of the trend continuing and the market testing to the 4483 level of resistance. At that level, we have a very small window that was opened up previously around the same time as the window that we saw on the S&P, and that area may hold as resistance if the market does trade up to there. But what we have to do is watch how the market reacts to that level if we do trade up there. If we see something coming into this market, looking to the bottom of this highlighted zone at 4421 to now act as support, but certainly the buyers have taken control of this market quite strongly once again, and suggesting with this build of momentum we certainly could see this market, the Nasdaq 100, trade higher. And looking to the bands here, and here we saw the bullish breakout up above the upper band, the confirmation now to confirm the strong bullish bias in the medium term time frame, and importantly the market taking out that previous swing high in a bullish manner suggests that the buyers have really taken over this market. If we do see any retracement, any selling in this market, looking to the upper band now at 4398 to hold as very strong support. Looking next to our ETFs on the daily charts, and the first we're looking at the asset class ETFs. Firstly to bonds, TLT is the code, and here we see a change of trend to the downside. The market finding strong support at the Tenkan-sen indicator, but still trading up above the Ichimoku cloud, so bullish in the longer term and the medium term time frame, both trading above the Kijun-sen indicator. We've seen the market trade lower, but the buyers have closed with control here on formation of a small black body candle. This suggests that there is potential for a change of trend to the upside. But looking over here at the band chart, and we're now trading within the bands, and suggesting that we've had a weakening of that trend that was attempting to trade higher in that medium term time frame. Support coming in, however, around the middle of the bands, and that's very often what we see. On the previous pullback, we saw support coming in there, so looking for some buying to come in. Potential resistance at the upper band now trading at 124.05. Against this is that the formation of this current bar has been something of a pivot point reversal, but it's been on a bar where the sellers have failed to take control, so the reversal is potentially not as strong as if we had one where the short-term dynamics had actually favoured the sellers. But more importantly, looking at the relative strength comparative here against the overall equities market, and it's down within the bands, down very close to the lower band, suggesting that there's no outperformance and no flow of funds away from equities into the bonds at the moment, and looking at the momentum of that relative strength, it's underperforming. GLD is the code for the gold ETF, and another black body candle, some selling coming into this market. Very strong potential for support at the Tenkan-sen indicator at 111.53. Could see some buying coming in there. Sellers have closed with control, and the continued selling here follows the pivot point reversal signal from the previous day's trading here on the bands. The market is testing around that upper band at the moment, 111.92, so potentially some support coming in there, but if we see the market extend to within the bands, we could see a test all the way back through to the middle of the bands at 109, but then we should also be considering the Tenkan-sen support on the Ichimoku chart. In terms of relative strength, not outperforming the overall market, just slightly underperforming the equities market, and momentum of that relative strength is down, so we're not actually seeing a flow of funds into gold. If anything, we're seeing something of a flow out. Now looking at the Ritz Etf, the real estate sector ETFs, and we're seeing some strong buying coming into this market now. A very bullish candle here, taking out the swing high and taking that out in a bullish manner. The swing high here was back in August. The angle of both the Kijun-sen and the Tenkan-sen continues to point up very sharply, reflecting very strong upside momentum, and a nice extension of the size of the white body here suggests that the buyers are very firmly in control. Over to the band chart, we're trading up above the upper band. We saw the previous breakout and strong follow through, the upper band holding a support and bouncing off that support on a pivot point buy, and the strong follow through up through there suggests that the buyers are very firmly in control here. If we do see any selling here on the Ichimoku chart, looking at the Tenkan-sen, should hold as very solid support 79.37, and very close to there the band support at 79.38. So very solid support if any selling does come into this market. But more importantly, looking at the relative strength against the overall equities market, and strong buying coming in, outperforming the overall equities market. It is on a short-term basis, on a daily basis, but certainly seeing a flow of funds into the real estate sector here, and momentum of the relative strength comparative is now trending up and quite strongly and accelerating away and above the 100% level. To some interesting stocks, and Visa, V is the code, and solid buying in this stock for today's trading up above each of the Ichimoku indicators and above the bands. Relative strength comparative is very strong. The momentum of that relative strength is strong as well and above 100%, so looking very healthy and outperforming the overall market. A previous stock that was strongly outperforming was ExxonMobil, and here we see a retracement beginning here. A very strong black body candle, a pivot point sell signal with sellers in control, suggesting we certainly could see lower levels. Looking to very strong support at the Tenkan-sen, $80.02, and at the upper band at $80.27 to hold as support if we do see the market come off. But the strong outperformance that we saw in this stock is no longer there, and suggesting that we're seeing a flow of funds away from XOM. Next to Disney, Walt Disney, DIS is the code here, and this has been quite a solid performer over the last week or so, breaking out through the top of the Ichimoku cloud, retracing back, finding support there, and breaking out in a bullish manner for confirmation. Bullish in all three timeframes on the Ichimoku chart, and trading up above the upper band here, and breaking out, and good confirmation, highlighting that we've had a transition from a strong downtrending phase in the medium-term time frame into a strong uptrending phase. If we do see any selling in this stock, looking to strong support around the Tenkan-sen and the top of the Ichimoku cloud around 106.32, but also at the upper band here at 106.73. Performance here is quite strong against the overall equities market, trading outside of the upper band, and momentum of relative strength is strong as well, and suggesting that we certainly could have continued upside in this stock. Next to Nike, and Nike continues to perform. It's been a solid performer over the last couple of weeks. Very solid buying coming into the market today. Buyers in control. Trading up above each of the Ichimoku indicators and above each of the bands. If we do see any selling, any profit taking coming into this stock, looking to the Tenkan-sen to hold a support 127.26 and at the upper band at 128.30 before we trade there. Relative strength comparative here is very solid, and momentum of relative strength continues to go higher. This is one of the stocks in the whole market.